What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, aka Ashy Knuckles for you, coming at you from the Hacienda in Centennial, Colorado. Gonna take off a couple weeks, 17 days, something like that, to recharge the batteries. Last time I went home, I've been out 5 weeks. Last time I came home, spent a week in San Diego, and sometimes a vacation could take more out of you than actual work, you know what I'm saying? Then I came back and left early to pick up a student to kind of finish them out, so I never really felt fully recharged. So hopefully I'll be able to do that this time. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is this trucking industry, you know what I'm saying? As I mentioned before, the trucking industry is the easiest job you could have in this world, but it is one of the hardest lifestyles that you could deal with, okay? And I talked to a lot of people. You know, I just got off the phone with a couple people this week. One person been working at the city for a long time, 10, 12 years, has some kids, a wife, all this kind of stuff, and he's not making the money to do what he needs to do, and he's getting frustrated with his job. Talked to another person that lives in Chicago. He lives in one of the last housing projects out there, and they're trying to get rid of that housing project, so it's time for him to kind of level up and make a change. And one thing I'm going to say is this job right here is the job where you can make that change. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people that watch this channel aren't truck drivers, aren't thinking about being truck drivers, anything like that. If you happen to know anybody that's in these situations, this is a good job to kind of come to level up. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that came into trucking, and I'm going to say either I talked to them directly or I know indirectly, that came into this profession 3-4 years ago, that had nothing before they came into it. Now they got, you know, in excess of $100,000 in the bank, or they've bought a house or bought a property cash, things like that. And there's a lot of people that came into this industry and failed, didn't accomplish anything. And one thing I'm going to say is, if you do plan on coming into this industry, you need to, you know, I think the people that make it in this industry are people that are trying to, like, definitely make a change in their lives where it's almost like a necessity, or the people that have clear-cut 100% goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things they're trying to accomplish, not just out here winging it. If you're winging it, it's easy to just go out here and be like, you know what, that's a nice car. Let me go buy that car. You know what, I like these Yeezys. I like these shoes. Let me just buy whatever. Clear-cut goals. You know what I'm saying? On to the first thing, people that need to make it out of a certain predicament that they're in. You know, I knew that getting into this business, for those of you guys who have been rocking with me, a lot of people haven't been rocking with me from the very, very beginning, since before I even came to Prime. I made a video and I said that one of the things I needed to do was put myself in a mindset that this was something I had to do. Almost like when I went in the Marines, because it would be easy for me to just quit. It would be easy for me to just say, you know what, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't come out of a situation where this was a necessity. I came into this because I wanted to make a change. I felt this could do it, but I had to have the goals in order to kind of push me forward. And a lot of the fallout in this business is because a lot of people, the struggle in this industry, like I said, easiest job, hardest lifestyle. You know, they want to do it. They have the desire to make the money. They have the desire to do all that stuff, but this lifestyle is way too much for them. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's right here for me. If the lifestyle was maybe just a little bit worse, I may be out of this industry. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot out of you. I think a lot of the fallout in this business is that isn't the job, it's the lifestyle. And, you know, I said it when I was talking about being in the mortgage industry, and, you know, I'm going to say it now with trucking. The trucking industry, the fallout rate within the first year is damn near as high as the Navy SEALs. It could be more than the Navy SEALs for all I know. You know, if you happen to be going through orientation, and I'm saying if you're a brand new truck driver, if you look to the front, look to the back, look to both sides, you know, one of you guys is going to make it over the course of a year, year and a half. This lifestyle is no joke. And that's why, for me, I have to have clear-cut goals. You know, if there were no goals in this, there would be no reason for me to want to do this shit. You know, the lifestyle will kick you in. Well, for men, it'll kick you in the nuts. I don't know what hurts the most on women, but it'll kick you there too. I mean, it's not easy to be in Butte, Montana in February, minus 28 degrees, and you got to go take a shit at 1:30 in the morning. I mean, that walk, you know, that eighth of a mile walk to the restroom, that's a motherfucker, you know, in them temperatures. You know what I'm saying? So it's a motherfucker to be like, I was just at this, I'm not even going to mention the shipper, but I was in DeSoto, Texas, and, you know, I'm about to leave the shipper, and they had this like orange barrel, but I wasn't sure if they wanted me to go around the orange barrel or kind of go to the left lane. So I was like, all right, there's nobody around, let me just go to the left lane. I got some little 24-year-old kid talking shit to me, and it was one of the only times that I almost broke character. I did for a second. But you're going to be in situations where people are out here talking shit to you, and I'm like sitting here like, I got this little young motherfucker talking shit to me. Like, I was like, I almost, you know, anyway, you got to deal with a bunch of shit out here. You know what I'm saying? The lifestyle is crazy. But you could change your life. The question is everything you have to go through worth the change in lifestyle? A lot of people it is, a lot of people it isn't. One thing I'm going to say is you can't skip the struggle. Every time I talk to somebody, I just got an email from somebody who said, listen, Lyle, I just made it through PSD. I'm about to go to TNT. And I'm like, hey, man, you about to go through it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to go through it. Your trainer's going to go through it. But listen, you cannot skip the struggle. You know what I'm saying? You can't skip the struggle. It's just part of it. And the question is, are you able to deal with that struggle to put you in a better situation? Now, I'm not saying this for everybody. Listen, my son, he's trying to become an electrician. He's going through his thing where he's getting his hours. He's an apprentice and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, my wife called me the other day and she's like, hey, man, Mason's thinking about truck driving and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, man, listen, just tell him to stay the course. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the struggle, and personally myself, I couldn't be a truck driver from 24 to, you know, however long it takes to get through a trucking career. You know, the thing is, I could do it now if I was 24 and knew what to do, like plan my life out, and okay, I'm doing it 24, I'm gonna be out of this shit by the time I'm 34, you know, maybe 38, I could maybe do that. But I wouldn't have those goals at 24 years old. You know, I didn't push him to this because I wouldn't want him to come in this without clear goals. Now, maybe I'd be able to help with that and be a truck driver 45, 50 years old and not having accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is no joke. I'm just telling you. And the stuff that you have to deal with, whether it's, you know, dealing with, you know, just like I said, the job is easy, but some of the aspects of the job that aren't necessarily in correlation with the job is a motherfucker. I'm gonna just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Holidays, I can't remember. You know, I made it home for my anniversary. That was one of the things that I was really trying to do. Today's my anniversary. My wife's watching this. Happy anniversary. But haven't been home for Thanksgiving and like, I don't know how long. Could I came back? Yeah. Would it have been in conflict with my goals? Yeah. Christmas. I haven't been home for Christmas in so long. Or at least since I've been driving trucks. In conflict with my goals when I'm coming home, things like that. Because I have to have clear-cut goals to make this worth it for me. You know what I'm saying? But if you're able to deal with all that shit, and this isn't a prime thing, this is a trucking thing. You can come into this industry with absolutely nothing. Almost nothing on your back, homeless, broke in 3 years, you're going to be able to scale up and have a bunch of money in the bank and all this kind of stuff. Now, are you going to have the mindset to turn that money into something that's going to take you into the future, or are you just going to be burning this money all along? If you're doing that, trucking is not worth it. If you're going to burn everything that you make, I would say I would be happier working at Burger King, making less money and not just blowing everything that this industry can give you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that this job is great for. You know, I'm not one of these people that's going to say everybody, it's a level playing field. Everybody can accomplish the same thing in life. If you ever hear anybody say that shit, that's some bullshit. This isn't a race thing. It is to some degree, but more than that, it's an economy thing. If you grew up in the projects of Chicago, you may not have been able to see different ways to get out of it. You know, if you grew up in the hollers of West Virginia, all you might know is coal mining. You know, I was lucky enough to where I was exposed to a bunch of different things. You know what I'm saying? I was exposed to, and this may sound, to a lot of people this is going to sound stupid because they just don't think about it. But I grew up, first of all, I had two fathers, you know, biological stepfather. My biological father was one of the most educated people I know, worked at IBM for years and years and years, lived in Boulder, Colorado, which is kind of an upscale part of, you know, Colorado, where I was able to see that. You know what I'm saying? I was exposed to that, exposed to those people. I had a stepfather that owned a business that hired people that were black, white, Mexican, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I never felt like, you know, for some of my lighter skinned people out there, they may not understand that, or they may not understand what a big deal it would be for me to say, okay, well, I have a father that actually hired like white people or, you know, whatever, because you normally don't see that. So I never felt that inferiority complex that some people may feel. And some people are going to say, you know what, that's nothing. That's a big thing for a lot of people. A lot of where you become in life is where you're from and what you're exposed to. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect somebody that came out of the projects in Chicago to be able to get where I'm at as easily as where I'm at, just because there is no blueprint. There is no, here's how to do it a number of different ways. You know, when I graduated high school with a 1.8 grade point average, I was exposed to being at a nationally ranked high school. Even though I didn't take advantage of everything, I was able to see my classmates go on. How did they do that? How did they become this? How did they become that? So I had a number of different blueprints where maybe I'll be the first one to tell you, if I'd have grown up in a different environment, I might have been a drug dealer or something like that, because I was about getting that money, but I was exposed to being able to get it in different ways. If I wasn't able to get it in those ways, maybe I could have been that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it, environment has a lot to do with it. And I know I'm kind of getting off topic right quick, but this right here, this job, doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Hindu, whatever it is, male, female, transgender, you know, all them alphabets, you can come into this industry and level the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's, are you willing to put in that grind? Now, I'm not saying there ain't no bullshit. I'm not saying there ain't no, you know, I'm not saying that there's not any hurdles to overcome. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of those jobs. This is one of those things where there isn't much of the ceiling that you put, or the ceiling that you have is about as high as you make it. Unlike a lot of different places, you have to fit kind of a mold, whether that be a racial, gender, role. It may be harder for you to break through. This job right here, this industry right here, listen, pick up some shit, deliver some shit on time, make your moves, and you could scale up to as far as you want to scale up. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those jobs where there ain't no whining allowed. You could do what you want to do. Okay? If you haven't got what you wanted out of this industry, that shit's on you. You know what I'm saying? One other thing I'm going to say before I leave you guys. Be careful who you watch on YouTube. Watch people that are where you want to be. Don't watch somebody that has a popular YouTube channel that hasn't accomplished really anything. It's fine to have the entertainment, but there's a lot of people out here that are representatives of the trucking industry that aren't necessarily maximizing what they could be doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it at that. I could go on, but listen, I appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, get some lotion, and I'm out.